So the crown has been nerfed. Is it any good now? Well, they didn't nerf the turret. They didn't nerf any part of the armor, actually. They nerfed the gun a little bit, but the main thing they nerfed was the mobility. And this thing is now like 6 kilometers an hour slower than usual. Now, if we go on TanksGG, and thankfully they've added a dark mode, finally, okay? Thank you tanks.gg, thank you. This is the crown in the current state. It goes at 50 forwards, 50 on medium, and 34 on soft. However, this is with turbo, right? If we go back a patch before it got nerfed, you'll see that it went 53, 50, and 34. Now, this is because, obviously, the terrain resistances, that is what the top speed is, right? There's no point saying, oh, look, it goes at 60. It doesn't, right? This is with it completely maxed out. You know, we have Brothers in Arms, as you can see, and that increases it. We have the off-road driving, which will increase it again. We've got the turbo in the turbo slot. We've got all the field mods. It's not made much difference, has it? Because realistically, everyone who was playing the crown was playing with a turbo. Or at least you should have been. Like, if you weren't playing with a turbo, then, I mean, maybe you could get away with grousers. But like, I mean, technically speaking, you could, because if you have a little look, it does go faster. But technically no, because the grousers don't provide the extra engine power. So when you're going uphill, it's actually a lot worse. And most of the time, it's never on just a flat ground. So that's why turbo is actually better than grousers, at least for this tank. I mean, for most tanks, to be fair. So what else did they nerf? Well, DPM, as you can see, goes from 3,200, bang, 2.8. Yeah, that's quite a substantial change to the DPM. Also, accuracy, 0.31 down to 0.35. And if you have a look at the dispersion values as well, especially during turret traverse, they have gone up significantly now. And this turret traverse is the real one that you want to like look for when you're actually looking at the soft stats of a tank, because this is the one that you are going to be using the most. Because every single time that you turn your turret, this is when it's going to bloom, and by how much. Going from 0.07 and 0.10 as the base value to 0.18 as the base value and 0.12 is going to be noticeable, and you do notice it. So you're going to need V-stab, although you kind of always need V-stab on this tank because the moving and tank traverse, or the actual hull traverse, has always been kind of bad at 0.2, but that's okay. Like, it's nothing amazing, but they haven't really touched that. So, okay, the gun is worse, the terrain distances are the same, and the top speed is basically the same. The biggest nerf to this tank, though, is now the reverse speed. And you can fix it, sort of, with the field mod. However, you then lose even more DPM now. You see, beforehand, you could quite happily choose the -3% to reload and -3% to top speed, or top speed in reverse, sorry. It's not even a problem. Like, you go at 18 backwards. But now, you go at 12 if you do that. And that's with turbo. If you don't choose turbo, you go down to 9. So, turbo is a must. It's almost like HP on this tank. The thing is, HP helps out so much with the tracks and stuff like that. If you want to go back to the original state, or at least close to it, you choose vents instead of HP. And like, that's as close as you're going to get to the pre-nerfed Kran. Because if you choose that, you're actually close-ish. I mean, the best thing I think to do now is to choose vents, get the reverse speed back as well. Because I feel like the reverse speed is going to help you out more than the actual reload time is on the Kran now. I mean, it's very, very hard to tell, to be honest. If you do use Vents Directive, then obviously it helps out even more. So yeah, that's all the changes that have happened to the Kran. Let's go play some games. Okay, well, we're on Malinovka. I mean, matchup is okay. Tier 8s. Don't really need to worry about that too much, because there is another Kran, there is a Gorilla, we get an E3. probably prefer the gorilla, to be honest, on this map, but there we go. Yeah, matchmaking is interesting. Fairly balanced, I feel. They get one extra heavy at tier 8, but we get one extra heavy at tier 9. Okay, that's not really balanced, but whatever. So yeah, this is the Kran in its nerf state, which is hardly nerfed at all. But I don't know. People were saying how the Kran is, you know, getting nerfed into the ground and stuff like that. I don't feel it's been nerfed that much. I don't even feel like it's been nerfed enough, to be honest. It will still farm a lot of damage, and it will farm you still very, very fast. You still get that, you know, 20-odd second reload, because we need to remember that this is an autoloader. 2.8 thousand DPM is still a lot for an autoloader. A lot of people don't realise that. They look at the DPM and they're just comparing it to the beforehand and thinking, oh, you know, got nerfed. It should never have had over 3000 DPM. Like, autoloaders should have, like, quite long reloads. Not very long, but, like, quite long. In regards to the damage output. But the Kran was just, yeah. I mean, we fluff one shell, but we get the extra 2 in. We're now going to load gold rounds, because the standard rounds on this tank are not good. They haven't been touched. They should have really got buffed, so like 260 pen. And then people might actually fire standard rounds on the Kran again. Well, I'll say again, no one ever fired standard rounds out anyway. And one more in. Nah, not really very good. You can still put your turret up all the way, and as you can see, we're reversing at 12, which is, well, it's slow, isn't it? I don't know. I don't feel like it's changed. Like, it's one of those tanks that is just still good. Like, we've already done 2.4k and we haven't even felt threatened. Like, there's no weakness to the Kran. If I put my turret up like this, no one's penning me. I will say, like, you know, the gun is still very derpy, as it always has kind of been. It's always been a little bit on the derpy side, the Kran gun, but yeah, I mean, do you really notice the accuracy difference? No. No, you don't. Alright, screw this guy. Oh. Oh dear. 1 second. Technical difficulties. For goodness sake. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, you don't really notice it. And like, I can sit here, I can put my gun up like this. They will not pen me. This guy will not pen me. Look. Hello. I mean, guys from the side will. But that's fine. Okay. Go one here. Kind of need my team to spot this. That's the problem. And last shell goes into that. I'm sorry I wasn't speaking then. That was actually kind of my misplay that I had to try and correct there. And so I didn't realise that there's that many people over there. I didn't look when I should have. Right, let's go back. Come on, who wants to get all the spotting damage? We've also gone back to 1440p. I apologise. I know the UI is smaller, and if you're on a phone, you know, that's going to cause some issues. I can't be asked to mess around with mods all the time with UI scaling. The UI scaling mods never work 100% how I would want them to. So, it's like, the UI scaling in this game, if you get a mod for it, is never really perfect. Whereas, at least, if you just leave it on 100%, it looks good, and it's fine. So, yeah. I apologise for anyone on the phone that finds it very, very difficult to watch or see what's going on now. Alright. 6.3k. Nerfed. Like, I don't know. This tank is just... Like, of course, it's worse. We're now at 97% on the marks, by the way. The marks mod is broken, so that's why we don't have it on in-game. Well, I say the marks mod is broken. The actual stat tracking on the marks is broken. Unless you're going for the 85%. We didn't even play well. I mean, sure, it's against tier 8s, and the tier 8s aren't going to do anything against a Kran. But it doesn't really matter what tank you're in. If you're in a tier 10 against tier 8s, it's stupid. But even against, like, you know, their Kran, the phase 1, the TNH, what are they meant to do? Just sit there and die? Like, literally nothing you can do. We didn't even play well. We will have another equipment setup where we'll put on vents, just to see what that's like. We even put on a vent directive. There you go. Now we're very, very close to the original Kran. And I think, yeah, we're using the firepower one at the moment, but I might switch it. Yeah, you know what? We're switching this. That is worth it. Right, well, we're on Lakeville, and we are now going to go down to the left-hand side. We are going to ask for help as well. Please. Why is an M454 going there? I don't know. Yoink. 2 Yak-100s coming though, which is very, very helpful for us. If I sit here, I don't actually need to peek this. I will bait JPC. That's my plan. Yes. Okay. Wait, I don't think there's anyone to my right, so... Yeah, last shell didn't really go where I wanted it to, but it's fine. This is fine at the moment, because we're spotting this, so as soon as he peeks up, we're getting the assistance, and we can just hold this area. I'm surprised that no one's over this side, though. It's a bit weird. There is an FV and a Foch and Yak-100, so I really don't want to peek out that way. But what we can do is try and peek up here. Oh my god. You look a bit stupid now, don't you? Go on. Peek up, Leo. Get the shot into me. This is good so far. I mean, yeah, we're firing heat, but I don't really care. Yeah, I could save some credits and, you know, fire APCR. But it's honestly fine. At least HE does no damage now, right? Alright then. Artillery is dead. Wonderful. I mean, we fluffed up 2 shells, but... I mean, 1 shell, but it's fine. You know, what they should have done with the Kran is when he's up like this, make this a weak spot. That's what they should have done. This ain't good. That's fine. Back off again. We're okay. I overpeaked and I shouldn't have done that. That was my mistake. I should have been more careful. See if we can get some spotting, maybe. No. It's annoying that this tree's knocked over. Because this tree's knocked over, I can't spot reliably the 268 at the back. And I think if I go up, I can't... Yeah. Even if I go up, it's not gonna go so well. It's okay. We'll load APCR. Intuition it out quickly. Okay. Are we still there? Oh, we get the assistance. At least now we can go up here. Ten seconds left on the reload. I don't want to push in, but I don't really want to go to this corner, to be honest. Oh, okay. Well, if they're pushing up, I can go to the corner. That's fine. I didn't want to go to the corner because then it would be quite awkward. Gonna load her heat again with the IS-7. All lows missed. Lovely. To be fair, APCR probably would have been better there. He doesn't spot me though. Can I spot the I-7? Unfortunately, I can't. I mean, I reckon the E3 is just behind this rock. Last shell was a little bit unlucky. E3 firing AP. If he fires APCR, he can pen me, but if he's firing AP, I'm not worried. Like, imagine that. You're not worried about 300 pen. Oh, 5.8. I don't know, like, it's just still good. I don't understand how the marks have gone down by 800, by the way. 800 they went down. I really don't understand it. Because for me, this thing hasn't changed. Like, I've shown you what it can do in a tier 8 game. I've shown you what it can do in a tier 10 game. This thing's mental. We're at 98%. You know, usually I would record a third game, but these games have been kind of long, and I don't really want to make it go on any longer than it needs to be. We're already approaching the half an hour mark, so I'm going to leave it there for the interest of time. But like, I think that just shows you everything, right? The Kran nerfs, they made a difference, but if you actually looked at it statistically, they're not as big as you would think. So either equipment setup works. You could either choose vents or you could use HP. Doesn't really matter. Whichever style you want. But the two mandatory things are turbo and stab. As they always have been with the Kran. I mean, at least I get a free mark out of it. I was at, I think, 91%. And then I just didn't play. And now we're at 98. It's absolutely insane. I really don't know why people are thinking that this tank is bad. I mean, I guess the mark changes is because only normal players are playing it, whereas before you would have very, very good players playing it, I guess. Still, it shouldn't have dropped by, 800. Because that's about 4k to mark this tank at the moment. So I don't know. That's the Kran. I really don't know. As always, if you did enjoy this video, you know what to do. And if you do want to support me further, then you can do by becoming a Patreon member or a channel member, and you will get all my videos one day in advance. Or at least that's what I plan. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Yeah. Oh well. Either way, thank you very much for watching. See you all in the next video.